I think it's about at this point in the season, teams that have had a 10.5 game lead or like over a 10 game lead in their division have have won it for like ever. You're going back so many
Yeah,
years, but it was like a lot of years.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think it's unlikely that they blow the division, but I don't think
yeah,
there's a good chance they get closer because so far it feels like this is best case for the Twins. Everyone's performing like at least most of them are above average. It's good. It's not incredible, but like they're almost as good as they'll be, I think. And the Indians with injuries and then a bit of underperformance are almost as bad as could have been.
yeah,
So I saw them being both like a few games over 500 at this point. I definitely didn't have the Twins at 38 and 19 at the start of June.
I mean, the Indians have still got a decent chance, haven't they, of the wild card? But it seems like quite a collapse from where they were like last few years. I mean, they're only 1 game ahead of the White Sox at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So it's like I don't know whether I think there's a chance they start trading stuff away because they were talking about doing that already.
Yeah, they could just give up,
Yeah,
but
I mean
it seems like that would be stupid at the moment. But they
it
could do it.
does, but at the same time, it seemed a bit silly what they were doing in the off season. So and they don't want to spend. If you don't want to spend and you're in this situation, they're going to have to pay Lindor at some point if they want to keep him. Maybe they just tear it down.
Yeah, they could. I mean, I know. Could you really think they'll trade like Lindor?
I
I
don't know if
I
they'd
was
trade
kind of
him.
thinking that he'd just be untouchable because that's like one of those things that I mean, even trading away like some of the others, I think is pretty bad. Although they're coming towards the end of their contracts, but it's the sort of thing that's just suicide for the fans, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it would
It's
be
just
incredibly stupid, and I don't think they do Lindor yet. But I think they were talking about trading starters already. I could see Kluber or Bauer going before the end of the year, and then Lindor they wait until he's closer to a free agent, and then trade him when they get less for him because of PR stuff, basically. But this
yeah,
team, so last year they were just not good enough in the playoffs against the other powerhouses in the American League. This team's just nowhere near competing, is it? It's just not anywhere close to getting past the division series, even if they won the division this
no.
year.
I think last year though that's sort of why they did it, didn't they? A bit is sort of as a reaction to the Red Sox and the Yankees of them. Basically, they weren't anywhere near last year, and they didn't really have any way of improving themselves drastically. Like their farm system's not very good at the moment, and it's just so they just sort of like, oh, we'll just lie low for a bit. But now it's gone worse than I think they were hoping, so that maybe they might just give up completely.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Um, because it's hard to know what to do. Is you just back yourself into a corner when you get into this. We don't want to spend any more money stuff,
Yeah,
and
um,
it's
yeah, they're just not in a good spot now, are they? But they just feel like they've blown it with the those moves they made has now really backfired.
yeah, yes, they're kind of stuck now.
Anyway, should we move on to the final item on the agenda?
Yes, yes, let's do that.
So it's the draft, like really soon, isn't it?
It starts tomorrow, I think.
Which is the big bit, really, isn't it? The first like couple of rounds. Um,
Yeah,
and I gotta be honest, don't actually not really followed the draft that much this year compared to last year. I did an article about like some of the top draft prospects last year. This year, I've not really followed it at all. Apart from Adley Rutschman, that's pretty much all I know. He's like the consensus number 1 pick, I think. But really, the what we were going to talk about is how that means that after tomorrow, Keuchel and Kimbrel no longer have their draft pick compensation attached to them.
yeah, which could finally see some movement on that front.
Yeah, maybe, or maybe that's just wishful thinking. But yeah, they couldn't it? And so what do you think are the most likely or like the most in need of either of those two?
Um, the Kimbrel ones is just sort of an unknown to me because basically any team that could be going to the postseason. Again, it depends like
Yeah,
what he's willing to take.
yeah.
If you assume it,
If he still wants the huge money, I don't think anyone will get him because it's stupid.
yeah, I don't think that's happening. But if you assume he will take a 2 or 3 year deal
Yeah,
with a high AAV, I think the Braves
I
look quite an obvious spot.
I think actually surely though I think at this point he wouldn't mind like a 1 year deal that's got quite a lot of money.
No, you'd have to if you're any of those competing
Like
teams, you'd have to try him, wouldn't you?
yeah, I mean I think like the Braves seems like an obvious one. When they're having closer problems,
Yeah, their
um,
bullpen's been a nightmare.
and that's where he started, isn't it? That's where he like made his name.
Yeah, or the Mets if they're still are going to be
Yeah,
involved, but
if
then
they're
they're not
still
going to do the money, are they? They're not going to spend a lot of money on him.
no, I like the Braves. Braves getting him on a short-term deal. I think I quite like. I think that makes sense because well, they need a closer somehow
Yeah,
at least. They could probably do with adding a couple of relievers. I mean, maybe they'd like to do a trade with the Giants.
yeah. Well, they're one that seems like a trade partner that's just
Christian
waiting to happen.
Pash for like all of the Giants bullpen. I'll do that.
And then the other, I don't know. You can make an argument for Kimbrel to almost everyone that's competing. Like the Mets, for instance, if they were willing to spend any money,
Yeah,
their bullpen is rubbish again. Um, I guess like the Twins are really good at the moment. Like they look like they're heading for the postseason. Why not add him? Their bullpen's been good, but again, it's like if you can add someone that experienced and who's still
yeah.
pretty damn good.
I guess I think even if it was the Braves, I'd even be tempted on a longer deal if it was less AAV than what had been rumored. But yeah, for me, I think the Braves makes the most sense. But then again, like, why would they have not done it already? I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, they might get desperate as the season goes on because they'll probably look at trades as well. But I don't maybe I think they could do with I don't know they trade for a couple and sign Kimbrel or something.
yeah,
I overturn the bullpen a little bit because that's really their big weakness, and they I think they've got a chance, haven't they? They've got a chance
but
of going all the
their
way.
lineup, their lineup is ridiculous at the moment with
Yeah,
Austin Riley hitting home
Austin.
runs every
They've got Austin
20 minutes,
Riley and Josh Donaldson.
and it's
Both,
allowed them to put
both.
Acuna in center, which is just like holy hell. Um,
Yeah,
so that does seem the obvious one for Kimbrel. For Keuchel, I don't know.
yeah.
It's sort
He's just not that good, is he?
no, that's the thing with him is it's like he's not actually going to move the needle for anyone, is he? I don't.
No, it'd be like he's probably like 3.5 ERA, maybe. Like if you want, you could think you're gonna definitely get a 3.5 ERA guy, which would be quite handy. But also, I don't know. I'm not sure how confident I am of even that,
No,
especially
neither am I.
when he's not played in so long.
No, so if
Uh,
they were still contending, I'd say the Nationals are a decent fit
oh yeah,
because they should probably have someone who can start games behind Corbin, Strasburg,
yeah,
and Scherzer. The Mets again because of the Vargas situation, and again because they've got a big three. Well, and they've got Mats actually, haven't they? They've got a front of a rotation, but I don't see either of those happening. Particularly not with the National. The Nationals almost out of it now. The Rockies, I think, are possible for Keuchel.
yeah. Actually, they've had big problems with their rotation, haven't they?
But then well, they've
I'm not,
just had to
well,
send down Kyle Freeland, which is
there's
incredible.
there's some of my Rockies takes recently have not looked great.
Well,
I mean, I wrote an article near the end of last season about the Rockies rotation. And basically saying, oh, it's really good, and then they're young, and they've like this is their breakout year, and they're going to carry on, and they've not, have they?
no, it turns out Marquez is good. Is pretty much.
Although the thing is, though, now the Rockies have nailed down Arenado, maybe they're not that bothered.
Yeah,
I get the
yeah,
sense with them that they're just one of those teams. They're just not that bothered. They've nailed down their big star for a while, which is going to keep the fans coming and keep them sort of competitive, but not actually competitive. Um,
I agree. Actually,
so now maybe they're just not bothered anymore.
that was a conversation I had with the Rockies UK account actually on Twitter the other day about
Yeah,
that similar thing of that the win now stuff's kind of gone because of Arenado,
yeah,
and so they're doing their kind of messing around with young players a bit again stuff, but it's like the urgency's gone.
yeah,
So I don't see them doing it. And the other concern actually would be I'm not sure you want ground baller Keuchel on that infield.
yeah,
I think you're going to need to get some strikeouts, aren't you, at cause?
yeah. Well, that's. I mean, yeah, the good. Well, the thing, yeah, Keuchel like limiting home runs and stuff and all that is all well and good, but you know, as you say, hitting it like fly balls is actually not the best way to go at Coors Field anyway.
Yeah,
So it might not be particularly effective. I mean, maybe the Dodgers they're just going to sign them.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it just
That seems like a Dodgers sort of move.
yeah,
Or the
because
Yankees. Do the Yankees need him? Well, they don't need him. But they never need anyone they get, do they? Really? They just get them anyway.
no, but they could do it. They could definitely do it. I mean, their whole team is injured and they're still like rolling. It seems kind of suitable with that. Then they just had another starter. Like, why not?
Yeah. Okay. So I think we should end now.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
So yeah. Thank you everyone for listening again. If anyone did listen, and hopefully we'll do one in slightly less than 2 months' time this time.
Yeah, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That would be quite an
Maybe
achievement.
sometime, at least sometime in the next 2 weeks.
Yes,
Hopefully sooner.
that is the goal.
So yeah. Okay. See you then.
Bye.